Becoming cloudy today, 37, a possible shower tomorrow, 34, partly cloudy and 25 on Sunday. The same on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday with tops of 26. Right now it's 18 degrees. More news as it happens on 5AA.
This is 5AA Breakfast, thanks to Jeep. For superior performance and rugged capability, test drive the all-new Jeep Cherokee at your local Jeep dealership.
Morning everyone, 6:35. It is a beautiful day and a little warm today, but still pretty good conditions for what is going to be a tremendous Clipsal 500, and of course the V8s are out on the track for the first time today.
Well, the Prime Minister, Tony Abbott, is on a plane out of the country this morning, and the way the poor bloke is going at the moment, it's probably the safest place for him, because if he's overseas, his colleagues can't knock him off. But he's going to be in New Zealand. He's going to be watching some cricket, but the most important reason that he is there is for meetings about national security and the looming New Zealand military deployment to Iraq, and he'll obviously be holding talks today with the Kiwi Prime Minister, John Key, and perhaps hoping that a bit of Mr Key's popularity can rub off on him. Joining us now to discuss this from across the ditch is our new regular, Selwyn Manning, who many of you will know from his work on Overnights with Peter Godfrey. Selwyn's from livenews.co.nz. Selwyn, good morning, mate. Thanks very much for joining us. Now, how has John Key gone in terms of managing the traditionally independent thinking Kiwis when it comes to their role within the ANZUS alliance?
Well, to put it frank, Dave, John Key's leadership has been in wanting, really. He continues to insist that, for example, that the New Zealand contingent that has been deployed over to Iraq will remain safe and will be secure. His preference is that they provide, or the Kiwis, we provide our own security around our trainers that are going up into Iraq. But then on the other hand, he is insisting that New Zealand's specialist SAS combat troopers will not be sent to Iraq to provide that security. So many that would be in favour of the contingent going up there are kind of thinking, well, what are the SAS troops being paid for, and why aren't, a specialist unit like that, why aren't they going up there to do the best possible job to keep those trainers safe? On the other hand, John Key has been seeding this information that they are a training contingent. But when he announced that 143 personnel would be deployed to Iraq, and he announced that this week, and they would be up there for a maximum of 2 years, he says, only 16 of the 143 personnel are actually specialist trainers. So, all of these messages are starting to actually impact back on John Key here. On the other side of the fence, Dave, many New Zealanders, they remember that there was huge public support for New Zealand's contingents that went up to take part in Ramsey, the regional assistance mission to the Solomon Islands, which Australia led that effort there. And also, New Zealanders remember very well that when East Timor was in disarray, it was the Australians and New Zealanders that led operations in our region, and there was very little support from outside the region for those types of defence kind of operations that were so vital to here. So I guess in the Kiwis' mind is that why are we going up there when there isn't a UN mandate, and what's happened to our independent foreign policy, Dave?
Yeah. Can you give us a sense of what it's like in New Zealand? Because I think one of the reasons why our government here has been able to bring the public along in terms of these military deployments is that as ISIS has grown, we've seen this disturbing evidence within a small but significant minority of Australia's Islamic communities, where you've got people who not only want to go overseas to fight for ISIS, but and Manharon Monis, the Lint Cafe siege is the worst example, people who are susceptible and willing to carry out sort of lone wolf terror acts. There hasn't really been any mass sort of Islamic immigration in New Zealand that's created communities like that, has there, mate?
No, it's a matter of scale. So in New Zealand, our communities, our Islamic communities, are reasonably small. The other thing, Dave, is there's been many years of our SIS, our intelligence wings, actually infiltrating into those communities. The eyes and ears of the state have been well entrenched. If there is a problem that is arising, and there have been issues of concern around some of the mosques in the Greater Auckland region, for example, it seems that the state is able to destabilise that fairly quickly. So we have not seen a situation develop like you guys did in Sydney in December. That said, the government has identified what it believes between 40 and 60 individuals of concern. So the Prime Minister, he doesn't miss an opportunity to ratchet up the concerns in the country about that, but unlike you guys, we haven't seen evidence of that in the past. That doesn't mean to say that there isn't a threat, but I think it's the scale here that New Zealand, obviously with a population of 4.5 million people, and its communities, its diversity is there, but they're smaller communities, and so therefore the problem is divided, if you like.
Yeah, right.
Meanwhile, Selwyn, it's building up for the big cricket game tomorrow between Australia and New Zealand. Plenty of friendly rivalry, I imagine.
Oh, absolutely. Now, Eden Park is going to be absolutely packed. About 45,000 people at least are going to be in Eden Park, and that's a cauldron of Kiwi pride at the moment because the team is scaling so high. I know Dave likes his cricket, and I'm sure he's knocking on that. There will be just an amazing game, Jane, tomorrow for sure. I know the Aussies, you guys, you're saying you're going to go hard, that you're going to be pushing for six runs and over kind of thing minimum, even at the front, that you've got 4 batters that are as good as our top captain batter, Brendan McCullum. And the New Zealanders, they're saying back the other way, they're saying, look at our bowling, mate. They're saying Tim Southee, Trent Boult, Daniel Vettori, they're just striking in form. And on the batting scale, you know, you've got McCullum, Corey Anderson, Ross Taylor, Luke Roche. Those guys can take it to your top 4. That's what the Kiwis are saying this side of the ditch, Jane.
You're sounding like a coach.
I wish I'd be paid more.
We just want a nice close result, mate, in our favour as well, of course.
Wouldn't it be good, like Peter said yesterday to me when we were on the radio together, and he says, let the best team win.
That's right.
Hey, Selwyn, you may have all of those wonderful players, and by the sounds of it, you've got a lot of confidence, but guess what? We've got this.
Let us speak New Zealand.
It's just not fair, but I don't care. It's just not fair, but I don't care. As long as we beat, as long as we beat, as long as we beat New Zealand. It's just not fair, but I don't care.
Good on you, mate. Fantastic talking to you, Selwyn, and all the very best to you and your Kiwi mates for tomorrow's game.
6:43. Let's check with Police Media now and have a chat to Vanessa Kelly. G'day, Vanessa.
Good morning.
Now, Vanessa, this was a tragedy yesterday afternoon down there on South Road towards McLaren Vale Way. You're looking for some witnesses for that fatal crash?
Look, that's exactly it. We don't like to reiterate these things too often, but we are appealing for any witnesses. For those that aren't aware, it happened just after 4 p.m. yesterday. Ford Festiva and a Ford Focus collided on Main South Road at McLaren Vale. That was near the intersection of Pedlar Road. Several motorists stopped at the scene and rendered first aid, but tragically the driver of the Festiva, a 23-year-old woman from Aldinga Beach, died at the scene. But the main priority right now is, if anyone did witness the crash and have not spoken to police yet, we'd urge them to contact Crime Stoppers 1800 333 000.
Yeah, no, very sad indeed. And Vanessa, also obviously a lot of road closures around town today for the Clipsal.
Of course, they're still going, so be wary of that if you're not already. But look, just as of yesterday, police are really pleased to report that there was a really large crowd on day one and they were all well behaved, so there's nothing really significant or negative that we can talk about, which is a great thing. But there is just one thing, a handy tip for parents or anyone actually taking small children, have a contact plan in the event their child is separated from them. That's always good, and it can happen to anyone really, whether you're separated for 5 minutes or half an hour. Just have that contact plan in place.
Yeah, good idea. Very upsetting for both if it happens, that's for sure.
Yes.
Thank you, Vanessa. Have a good weekend.
You too.
Bye-bye. Let's check on Clipsal traffic now and have a chat to Matt Colopy, who's one of the senior forecasters at the Weather Bureau. Good morning, Matt.
Morning, guys.
Matt, looks like a hot finish to summer, especially today and into tomorrow as well.
Yeah, certainly 37 degrees expected for the city today, 37 also for Elizabeth, 35 on the beach at Glenelg and Noarlunga, and 34 for Mount Barker in the hills. So fairly warm night as well, Jane. We're still sitting around sort of 19 degrees here at Kent Town. And like I said, expecting a 37-degree day today. A little bit of cloud developing later this afternoon. And on Saturday, the change will move through. That cloud will thicken up a bit during the afternoon. So 34-degree maximum after a very warm night, 26 expected overnight tonight into Saturday.
Is that the lowest it will be all night tonight, 26 degrees?
That's right.
Gee.
Yeah, so that could be it'll be a nice night for the concert at the Clipsal Friday night. It'll be nice and warm. But, 34 degrees tomorrow. That maximum temperature very dependent on the timing of the change. At this stage, it looks like it's early afternoon. Probably be a degree or so warmer for the northern suburbs tomorrow. And a possible afternoon shower. I don't think there's a lot in it. I think at best we'll see a fraction of a millimetre. Probably won't dampen the spirits too much there. The possibility of a rumble of thunder as that trough moves through as well later in the afternoon and into the evening as the winds shift cool southerly, and a 25-degree maximum expected for Sunday.
Okay, you a rev head, Matt?
I don't mind a little bit of motor racing. I think it brings out the engineering side of me, where get, build something to go fast. It's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you going to head along?
This year, no. I've got some surf life-saving stuff on this weekend.
Oh, okay.
It seems to take over my life about this time of year, guys.
Yeah. What about next year? Are you planning to go next year?
It's pretty much the same story every March, but I got a mate who's really keen, and this year he's going, I've got the tickets. What are you not coming along? I said, kids, this, that,
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Matt, good luck on the weekend.
Thanks.
Bye-bye, mate. Matt Colopy, one of the senior forecasters at the Weather Bureau. Marcus Wilson is in the newsroom. G'day, Marcus.
Good morning. Malcolm Turnbull has brushed aside the latest leadership speculation amid claims he has the numbers to defeat Prime Minister Tony Abbott. An Adelaide woman and her partner will face a sentence hearing today after being found guilty of murdering her ex-lover at a Parafield car wash. The isolation cells on Central Java are expected to be ready tomorrow, bringing the Bali 9 ringleaders closer to the firing squad. And in sport, the V8 cars hit the Clipsal 500 Adelaide circuit later today. Becoming cloudy, 37, right now 19 degrees. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Thanks, Marcus. 6:47. Stephen Marsh was thrown out of Parliament yesterday. The opposition leader will please explain after 7 o'clock, but we'll also be talking to him about the new Oban plans and, of course, the health reform as well.
Jeremy Cordeaux.
Ken's on the line. Hi.
Nuclear is not good. It's best off left in the ground. You go in for a radio
a scan.
They stand behind screens.
Yeah.
Not safe. I don't care what anyone.
Oh, come on, Ken, you've got